This is the Raisin and Sprite experiment. This experiment will help you to learn about the concept of density and buoyancy. The only ingredients you will need for this experiment is a cup that you can see through, 5 to 6 raisins, and some Sprite. You need enough Sprite to fill up your cup 3/4 of the way. After you pour the Sprite in the cup, one by one, drop the raisins into the cup. When you drop the raisins in the cup, watch closely how the raisins sink and then rise up to the surface of the liquid. The main question that appears after you see this reaction is, why do the raisins sink and then float? In order to answer this question, you have to learn about density and buoyancy. Density measures how compact a substance is, which is determined by the volume and mass of that substance. This means that objects more dense, like raisins, will sink when placed in a liquid substance like Sprite, which is less dense. This explains why when the raisins are dropped in the Sprite, they first sink. It is because they are more dense than the Sprite and sink to the bottom. Density explains the first part of our question, but to answer the second part, we have to learn about buoyancy. Buoyancy is measured by how likely a substance is to float or rise to the top once it sinks to the bottom of a liquid. The Sprite, which is the soda, produces carbon dioxide bubbles, which are not dense at all. The carbon dioxide bubbles attach to the raisins that have sunk to the bottom of your cup. After a large number of carbon dioxide bubbles have accumulated on the raisins, it increases their buoyancy. As the raisin's buoyancy increases, when the carbon dioxide bubbles attach, the raisins start floating to the surface. The buoyancy explains the sudden rise of raisins to the surface. This experiment introduces the concept of buoyancy and density, which are factors that can affect our daily life.